A National Education Policy Center report just came out this week. Saying that the federally supported turnarounds schools aren't working because parents, teachers, and school communities are treated as an afterthought. Do we need to do a better job involving stakeholders rather than a top-down approach?
We absolutely need to involve everybody, top down, bottom up, involve parents. I would vigorously disagree with the opening statement there. When I look at 2/3 of schools in the first year showing real progress, when I look at 20 to 25% of those schools in the first year showing double-digit gains in reading and math, there's some extraordinary progress going on there. Some of these are A's, some are B's, some might be D's and F's. But for the first time in our country's history, over 1,000 schools that have been chronically underperforming, sometimes for decades, we are challenging the status quo and doing some very different things. The data is really interesting. Lots of other studies, I don't know that one, study in California talked about how much this is working in California. The data is important to look at, but it's really important. I encourage a lot of journalists here, go out and talk to real kids and real teachers in the community and find out what they think. As I've visited dozens of these schools to hear the stories of students, young people themselves telling the before and after pictures, it's fascinating. And this is tough work. And again, the media hasn't covered enough because people aren't yelling and screaming at each other. The media loves controversy. People are doing some really, really hard stuff that never happened before, and because they're doing it together, it doesn't get covered. Dennis and I went out to a district not too far from here where they had made some very, very significant changes. Moved the principal out, moved out half the staff. Head of the local union stood up in a public meeting this big, said, "This is the hardest thing I've ever had to do, but I had to do it. It was the right thing for kids." And that kind of courage, those kinds of stories don't get told. And I would encourage those of you in the room who are interested in this to go talk to real people, real kids, real parents, real teachers, real principals. Ask them how this is going.